Hey guys, taking a break from editing part 3 of the Funtastic Legacy of Hanna-Barbera to talk about more recent news in the reboot world. As you know already, the grave of the Powerpuff Girls will be defiled once again, this time by Warner Brothers, as a live-action, you heard right, live-action series on the CW, written by Diablo Cody, which always means quality. Recently, it turns out the project has been cancelled and the crew is starting over from scratch. Like most of you, I assume it was cancelled because of fans screaming, "We don't want this." But the leaked script might have something to do with it. And yes, a script about teenage pop-up girls written by Diablo Cody is just as bad as you think it is. Like a lot of the cast from the old show are out of character or just plain unlikable. The jokes make you cringe, and the dialogue is just incredibly cringy. Nobody talks in this thing like a real person talks. And that's pretty much been my issue with Diablo Cody's writing in general. That whole aren't I quirky writing that somehow defined a generation just doesn't grab me. I always thought it was obnoxious. On top of that, the show is aimed at today's teens, but they make references to stuff they wouldn't know about, like Dirty Dancing, Harambe, and TRL. What many of the Powerpuff Girls revivals post Craig McCracken fail to realize is that the original was pretty much lightning in a bottle. It came out at the right time with the right crew and the right audience. Every incarnation since tried to do what the old show did, but does it so horribly. Now we could talk about the Dance Pen special, which people kinda sorta saw, but I want to focus on the 2016 reboot. Craig wasn't involved due to working at Disney, but the most notable controversies, or one of them, was surrounding the new cast, which replaced the old voice actresses. E.G. Daily, Catherine Cavadini, and Tara Strong. They were replaced by younger unknowns. Nothing against them, of course. They were hired to do a job, but they did well despite the circumstances. Not to mention, I hated the same things you did. The toned down violence, the dated meme references, the modern talk, the softened designs, and an art style that didn't know if it wanted to be the original or Clarence. But I have a theory why there have been so many revivals of the Powerpuff Girls. While most of the cartoons were big hits, the Powerpuff Girls was the only one to have merchandising success. If you were growing up in the early 2000s, you saw the Powerpuff Girls everywhere. Toys, games, a movie, accessories. They even had their own breakfast cereal. So when it's reboot time, you bet your ass CN is gonna go for their most financially successful property and pass on revivals of KND and Courage. Something their respective creators really wanted to do. The original Powerpuff Girls was something of a marvel. It had an appeal to both boys and girls who fell in love with these characters, the world of Townsville and the giant monsters and the cool villains. The show wasn't afraid to get violent or deal with mature subjects like feminism, and it respected its audience. In fact, there's a reason why the old series is still timeless, and the reboots will be just seen as a product of their times. But I want to hear your opinions. What are your thoughts on the live action series? Are you excited? Do you hate it? Do you think it's dead on arrival? Tell me what you think. And while you're at it, go watch Craig McCracken's new show, Kid Cosmic, on Netflix. Until next time, I'm 47 Cartoon Guy, and I gotta fly.